For more on the life and legacy of Prime Minister Abe, joining me now is Caroline Kennedy, who served as the U.S. ambassador to Japan from 2013 to 2017 and is currently the ambassador to Australia. Ambassador, thank you for joining Top Story tonight. In your role as ambassador to Japan, you, of course, work closely with Prime Minister Abe. What was your reaction when you heard this terrible news?
Prime Minister Abe was an incredible leader, once in a generation, and an amazing partner to the United States. So I think both our countries have lost a great leader and a great friend.
You know, when we hear about the passing of someone we know, memories can come flowing back. Was there a personal reflection that came to mind about the Prime Minister, the man you knew?
I think when I saw him at his most powerful was when he really led the effort to strengthen the process of reconciliation between our two countries who had fought so bitterly during World War II. And as a child of a Pacific War veteran, to me, that was incredibly meaningful. He had great admiration for President Kennedy and his call to public service. Prime Minister Abe came from a political family as well. And he was committed to President Obama's visit to Hiroshima, which was a historic moment in U.S. Japan relations. And then he himself became the first sitting prime minister to pay his respects and condolences at Pearl Harbor. And I think I saw then the power of leadership to build a more peaceful world. And it's up to each of us to do whatever we can to continue and strengthen that process. But I saw two leaders engage in that and take great risk to do it. But they did it because they're committed to peace and freedom and human rights and democracy.
I do want to go back to that moment you just mentioned. President Obama was the first U.S. president to visit Hiroshima, where one of the atomic bombs fell, of course, and he went there with Prime Minister Abe. What do you think that meant to Mr. Abe and to the people of Japan?
Well, I was there during that time, and it was an incredibly emotional and powerful moment for U.S.-Japan relations. We are the strongest allies. There's no stronger ally that the United States has than Japan, but it doesn't always have that kind of an emotional dimension. And I think that it was the people of Japan, there was this outpouring of gratitude, of respect, and of, I think, hope in the future that this could happen. And I think that foundation has only strengthened the partnership between our two countries going forward, which is increasingly important in the Pacific region for our two countries.
Ambassador, you mentioned that you both came from political families, and I think your son posted something earlier today that he celebrated his 23rd birthday with just you and Prime Minister Abe. You must have had a special bond with him. What was that like?
Prime Minister Abe was a very formal leader, but I think in our case, but he also had a deep affinity for the United States and a great admiration for our democracy and for the friendship between the United States and Japan. And he showed me great kindness, he and his wife, on multiple occasions that went well beyond the official. And one of the most thoughtful things that he did was to show up at my son's birthday party just as a surprise. My son had a great admiration for Prime Minister Abe as a leader, and he just came to the restaurant, and I hadn't told my son, and all of a sudden he saw the Prime Minister walking down through the restaurant, and just the look on Jack's face was priceless. But it was really, the Prime Minister went well out of his way to do that, and it was an incredibly meaningful gesture to me and to our family, and I think a way of him showing how much he valued both our personal friendship as well as the relationship between our two countries.
So you spent so much time in Japan. You had this special bond with Prime Minister Abe. If you can, what is your message tonight to the people of Japan, but maybe more importantly, to the Abe family?
Akie Abe, Prime Minister Abe's wife, was a true partner and path-breaking First Lady of Japan. And she is a deeply gracious, thoughtful, kind woman, and was a committed partner to her husband. And I'm so deeply sorry for her loss. And I think the people of Japan have recognized that Prime Minister Abe was a transformational, once-in-a-generation leader, and this is a personal loss for them. So as a great friend of Japan and admirer of Japan, I send my deepest, deepest sympathies.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.